back to PGSN and our coverage of the first region matchup of the season, and an always highly anticipated one as the Pleasant Grove Vikings take on the Lone Peak Knights.
Yeah, this is a matchup that lots of people have looked forward to the entire season, wondering how will Pleasant Grove do in region play? What's it going to be like? And how can they prepare to take on teams that might be a bit bigger and maybe stronger than them?
Yeah, as you mentioned that, the big guy for Pleasant Grove to defend today, Chamberlain Burgess, the 6'7" power forward, averaging 12 points per game and 7 rebounds per game. He's very, very good from beyond the arc. Maybe a little bit of a streaky shooter, but when he has it on, he does not miss. A player who's getting offers for Power 5 teams and Group of 5 teams from around the nation. Specifically, the team with the best record in college basketball right now, Utah State University, has given him an offer. So a big guy for Lone Peak and a big guy who's trying to make a difference today. The big question is, what is Pleasant Grove going to do to defend him? I was talking to Coach Scoville before the game. He said, we're kind of going to try and defend him the same way we've defended everybody all season, and that's pressure the guards early past half court so they can't get the ball to him, and then if they do get the ball to him, collapse around Chamberlain. So Chamberlain Burgess is a guy whose name you'll hear a lot. Another guy who you'll hear a lot is Ike Staley. Jack, tell us a little bit about him.
Ike Staley being a sophomore last year, being also on varsity basketball. We're looking at, he was also starting quarterback for Lone Peak this year.
Yeah, stepped in as the backup when Pleasant Grove faced him.
Yes, and after Pleasant Grove, all you guys know, Pleasant Grove took down Lone Peak in football this year. Can they take him down in basketball?
Yes, so another guy who's going to be huge for Lone Peak, and then we'll kind of switch over to the Pleasant Grove side, Tom Kramer. This is one of his first seasons playing varsity basketball, if not his first. He is very successful from the free throw line. If I remember right, he hasn't missed all season. He's taken over 20 attempts, consistently a 10 to 15 point per game scorer, and a multi-sport athlete, a 6A first team 2022 for boys soccer. So a lot of success on the Lone Peak side of the ball, and it's going to be up to some big guys for Pleasant Grove to try and compete about that. Jack, tell us a little bit about how Pleasant Grove's going to try and compete against this Lone Peak Knights team.
Well, they just got to go in and play their offense to a T. They've had these 13, 14 games of practice with their offense, and now I think this is where it will start to pay off. Also, I have no idea if my voice is cutting out. The cord for my headset is absolutely horrible. So
you sound amazing as always in my ears, Jack.
So my headset is cutting out every second, so it's pretty bad. But
and a guy for Lone Peak who, probably not a revenge game, but maybe his comeback game for Pleasant Grove today, Austin Simon, he will not play today by almost every account. Still in sweats, New Balances, and about half court while Lone Peak warms up. So we'll likely not see Austin Simon today. For Pleasant Grove, the ever important Carson Rasmussen, the Viking who leads the team in assists per game, averaging about 3.7 to go along with about 6.5 points per game. Rasmussen will suit up today. Just a question about how much and how long he can go.
Yeah, and this is going to be a huge game for the Vikings, kicking off region play, and we're really looking forward to how they can produce here in about 5 minutes when, they'll have Chamberlain jump versus, Riker Mickelson at the center court, and, sometimes the Vikings surprise on if they win the tip-off or if they just don't even attempt it.
Yeah, Pleasant Grove. And as we mentioned in the beginning of region play, for Pleasant Grove, it doesn't get any easier. On Tuesday, they travel to American Fort, one of, if not the toughest game every single season. Lone Peak gets, you never have an off night in Region 3, but they get about as close to an off night as you can, being a home game against Skyridge. Skyridge and Westlake are the two teams that are kind of the bottom of the region standings, but by no means are either of those teams a cakewalk. As Pleasant Grove got shocked by Skyridge last season on the road on Valentine's Day by about 20 when they thought they were going to waltz in there and take an easy victory. But something that I find interesting if Pleasant Grove wins today or at any point throughout the rest of their season, they tie their win number from last season. So 11 wins last season, they're already at 10 this season with victories over a number of teams. But the one headlining that is Davis, the second game of the season. Riverton last time out. Pleasant Grove kind of struggled towards the end of that one. Jack, what did you see that needed to be cleaned up by this Pleasant Grove team? Sorry, muted the wrong guy.
Sorry, yeah, Alan muted me for a second there. But during the Riverton game, what I saw specifically was just kind of a bit of miscommunication on offense and just not playing the right defense. They were kind of relying more on Riverton making mistakes, and that can work for a bit, but it won't work for too long. You know, it's just not a way to play an organized game of basketball. So I think that overall, the way that they can counteract that loss and, you know, come out here and get a win, to, you know, play their offensive tee and just stick to how they've been playing and how they know they should play on defense. Yeah,
Pleasant Grove beat this Lone Peak team at home last season. But the last time these two teams matched up was in the second round of the playoffs. Pleasant Grove lost by 4 points, in Lone Peak on the 24th of February just last year. So Pleasant Grove kind of a little bit of a revenge game, but a mostly revamped roster here. This is kind of Pleasant Grove's first true home game, as you can see on your screen. Lone Peak's got a decent student section, but Pleasant Grove's got some rows filled, and shout out to, I don't know who it is, but shout out to the guy on the front row who has a drum, unless they make him get rid of it.
That is a senior spirit representative. I forgot his name. What's wrong with me?
Shout out to him. He's getting talked to right now. Hopefully they let him keep it.
I don't think he is getting talked to.
I don't know if you're allowed to have one, but that would be very, very fun. A little obnoxious, but fun. If he is allowed to keep it. So Pleasant Grove being led in scoring with only 11 points per game by Riker Mickelson. He also leads the team in rebounds per game. Carson Rasmussen leads the team in assists per game. But one guy that I think has been underappreciated, I mean, we've appreciated him about as much as you can, but being underappreciated, Clay Hansen, shooting 46% from beyond the arc. He leads Pleasant Grove in shooting percentage out of everybody, not just guys who have X number of attempts. Everybody. Clay leads the team. He's second in the team in points per game, only behind Riker Mickelson. And I believe, if I remember right, he's second in the team in rebounds per game. So he's tied for second with Ethan Hilliard. So a big, big presence, literally and figuratively. Clay Hansen has been. Defensively, he's one of the key guys when Pleasant Grove tries to collapse on people in the paint and force some mistakes. Clay Hansen has had his fingerprints all over a couple games for Pleasant Grove this season. Obviously, his 5-for-5 performance in Georgia is what sticks out. But Jack, who's a guy that maybe hasn't had those numbers and those huge stats this season that you think can or needs to step up for Pleasant Grove today?
I think that Jackson Brown can really step up this game and hit a couple threes, and, you know, just get a bit of that Clay Hansen, you know, Clay Hansen secret stuff and start hitting some threes, you know. Maybe the water in Georgia was really crazy because he went off from three. Pleasant Grove playing Lone Peak. This is one of my favorite games every year. Such a storied kind of rivalry in the last 10 years. The classic one is PG versus AF. However, after Lone Peak was conceived as a high school, they kind of became the team that everybody was facing off against. My absolute favorite memory against playing against Lone Peak was they did a team manager 1v1 back when Dre Endicott was our manager, and he beat the Lone Peak manager in the 1v1, and the Pleasant Grove student section went absolutely insane.
So one guy, you kind of stole it right out of my mouth. I was going to talk about Jackson Brown today as someone who could step up. So I'm going to pivot to a guy who's kind of right next to him numbers-wise, but Milo Johansson, I think, could be huge for Pleasant Grove today. Struggling from beyond the arc this season, but almost every single one of his 63 attempts has been an amazing look, an amazing shot. And I know that Milo will find it at some point this season. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when for Milo Johansson, and if he can get those shots to start falling. But there is the buzzer, as we will have the national anthem that I think is going to be performed by a student before today's game. But it is the 19th ranked Vikings and the 20th ranked Knights, RPI-wise. Pleasant Grove is 5th in 6A. Lone Peak is 10th. A win for either team would be huge today to boost that number. We'll step away for a second for the performance of the national anthem. About in the pregame show. Jack, it's the Vikings, it's the Knights. Get us ready. So as you mentioned as well in the pregame show, Burgess is going to take the tip for the Knights. Pleasant Grove will probably send Nicholson, but you never know.
It's probably going to be Ethan Hilliard or Riker Nicholson. Hilliard, he's going to be jumping against Chamberlain Burgess.
Maybe he'll jump. You never know for Pleasant Grove.
Around the looking the similar height, but who knows? As you know, couldn't really tell who won the tip, but it doesn't matter because Ike Staley got the ball. Chandler Burgess immediately takes a three and hits it.
As I mentioned, he's a guy who can hit from three, and he starts us off with a quick one.
Here comes Carson Rasmussen with the ball, gonna give it to Riker. Rotates around to Ethan. Ethan finding the open man, Jackson Brown. Gives it to Carson. Carson on the outside of three, gives it back to Milo. Back out for Ethan. Milo Johansson tries in, kicks it to Riker. Riker trapped in the corner, 12 seconds on the shot clock. At the free throw line. Drives in left side, spin move in the paint against Burgess. Layup, no good. Got back by Milo, layup is good.
Johansson with a great effort there to get the offensive rebound. That's something Pleasant Grove is so focused on, and that's a big thing for Johansson, and a quick timeout by the Knights as they couldn't find a man to get the inbound to. And even though they're down 3-2 early, this Pleasant Grove student section is loud and proud. So we saw quickly a Chamberlain Burgess three-pointer. That was kind of just, I believe, at least a miscommunication on defense to leave him open behind the arc. Obviously, that's not something you want to do with a player of his caliber.
I think there wasn't any communication, to be honest. Like, it was just all immediately. The tip went to Ike Staley, gave it to Burgess on the left elbow, and he's going to hit that shot. I mean, he is a D1 recruit as a junior. In basketball, that is much rarer than in other sports like baseball in high school. So you have to be an extreme talent to get recruited, much less like given a scholarship as a junior. He is locked in.
As Pleasant Grove's cheer squad quickly runs off, inbounding is going to be Jackson Taylor.
Jackson Taylor gets it into Cranbrook to bring it down back to Taylor. Taylor in the paint, kicks it out to Staley for three. He's gonna spiral it in.
That's just a confident shot by Staley from beyond the arc. He knew he wanted it, he knew he could make it, and he delivered.
Carson being guarded by Haskett. Riker to Ethan. Ethan to Jackson, he's gonna drive in. Kicks it out. Ethan caught the pass, kind of intended for Milo though. Spin move into the three-point line, mid-range, back to...
So far, but Jackson Brown at the line with a chance to make it a two-point game if he can convert on both of these.
Jackson Brown's gonna miss his first.
5 new guys check in for Pleasant Grove. It's Makai Peterson, Ryan Hadley, Ty Palmer, and Andrew Anderson. Clay Hansen will come in if Brown can sink his second shot. We're at 6-2 here with 6:25 here in the first quarter.
Jackson Brown's second is absolutely unfazed by the crowd after he got his first kind of jitters out from seeing a at full strength opposing student section.
Random side note, but the drum was taken away from the front row of Pleasant Grove student section.
That's okay. Chamberlain down low, kicks it back out. That's a confident three from Jackson Taylor as they go 3 for 3 from the arc with no two-point shots.
It's going to be tough to beat any team that's shooting this well from beyond the arc.
Here's Clay Hansen, the Lone Peak transfer, gives it to Andrew Anderson, drives in, gives it back out to Makai Peterson, layup, no good, he catches his rebound, it's stripped away. Here comes Staley, gives the ball to Taylor. Jackson Taylor with the ball. And that is a mental mistake as Haskett moves out of the way for the pass. Clay inbounds to Ty Palmer, gonna bring it down.
Yeah, Ty's had an amazing season for Pleasant Grove thus far. Second on the team in assists per game. He kind of leads his unit at point guard, kind of the same way Carson leads his.
Clay Hansen is shoved, but it's off ball. No foul is called. Makai Peterson, reverse layup is missed. Staley gets the ball, he's gonna shoot a three, no good. First miss by Lone Peak. Taylor fakes the three, pass to Chamberlain in the paint, and it's gonna be missed.
Even though it resulted in an offensive rebound and a chance for more points, that was an ill-advised shot from Staley. I don't know if that was a heat check, but that's a shot that if you're, on the opposite side for Lone Peak, if you're coach Rob Ross, that's not a shot you want your guy taking there. But here's Palmer leading his unit. Gets it to Anderson, Anderson to Peterson. Peterson down.
Back to Anderson. He's trying to find someone down low, gets it to Ty. Ty gonna drive in, right side layup, no good.
Pleasant Grove's done a lot of driving to the basket so far today, as they're gonna have their first 5 guys check back in during these free throws, but something that we haven't seen Pleasant Grove do a lot of is drive to the basket this season, but right now that's kind of been their focus, and they're looking for their second, and they do hit their second shot from the line today, 2 for 3.
Clay Hansen didn't get any chance at a shot. It's kind of what a lot of people are looking forward to seeing this game, because Clay Hansen, as you said about Staley, like, is there a heat check? There's definitely a heat check with Hansen if he can start hitting some.
Palmer's second is on the mark to make the game 5-9, and Milo Johansson will come in for Ty Palmer. Knights up 4 with 4:47 remaining here in the first quarter. Vikings running their ever-present full-court press.
Here's Kramer with the ball. Gives it back to Haskett. Pass into Mitchell.
They've got a second to get it past. That's 10. That's a 10-second violation that was just missed. But, the Knights still on offense. Can't do anything about it if you're Pleasant Grove. Staley loses it. Ball rolls around, grabbed by Hilliard. Hilliard, full-court pass.
Haskett catches it. Here is Cogswell. Cogswell, they don't call the walk. A lot of people are not happy with this.
Yeah, Coach McAllister very upset with the refereeing so far. Vikings play on.
Hilliard trying to work his work inside the three-point line. Rasmussen outside as well. Finding an open man. It's stolen by Haskett. Going down the court. Euro step. They don't call a travel. And that is the second time that Coach McAllister is going to be very angry.
It's looking like Lone Peak might have walked to Ball Hall today, where they're playing so far. No calls have been charged against them. McAllister unhappy. Mickelson grabs the rebound.
Mickelson with the ball. Riker trying to find the open man. He's going to dribble back outside the 3. Gives it to Hilliard. Hilliard back out to Cohen. Johansson for 3. He's going to miss out from the rim.
That was a great job boxing out by Ty Cogswell for the Knights, keeping Mickelson away from getting an offensive rebound.
Here is Kramer with the ball. Kicks it out. Cogswell for 3. No good. Milo with the rebound. Cogswell,
the first guy off the bench for the Knights, along with Enoch Mitchell.
Jackson Brown for 3. He's going to hit it.
And that cuts the deficit to 1 for Pleasant Grove, as their offense starting to find a little bit of rhythm here.
Mitchell trying to bring it across the half court. Stolen by Jackson Brown. Gives the ball to Carson. Carson in the corner. Milo thrown way into the crowd.
That, I think, was the result of Lone Peak being worried about a 10-second violation. The shot clock was at 26. Once it gets to 25, that's your violation. It was at 26 when they threw that shot that got in the hands of Brown. Pleasant Grove couldn't capitalize on the offensive end, and it's back to Knights basketball.
Almost stolen by the Vikings. Chamberlain is stopped in the paint. There's Taylor for 3. He's going to hit it.
Taylor, a confident shot.
Yeah, over a complete defensive effort by Ty Palmer. His floater is no good. Ryan Hadley trying to get it. And they're going to call
a foul on Hadley.
Yeah, personal foul.
Trying to grab that rebound. That's the first foul of the quarter for Pleasant Grove, so obviously it's the first on Hadley today. What a shot by Jackson Taylor with a man in his face, just confident, and put it in to kind of slow some momentum. It felt like it was moving towards Pleasant Grove.
And they're calling referees, tells the coaching staff of Pleasant Grove another noise, and they will be teched up.
They did finally get the travel call that they've been looking for the last 6 or so minutes, but you talk too much and you might get punished.
Here's Ty Palmer, gives the ball to Ryan. Ryan in the inbound to Mackay. The layup is good.
That's as close as you'll get to an alley-oop if you're a Pleasant Grove fan this season. And it was a great play by Peterson.
Almost stole my play.
A body hit the floor. I'm not sure which night it was. It was Jackson Taylor. Their student section wants a foul. And now Chamberlain Burgess is being held back by a referee. It was Clay Hansen fighting for it. No whistle was blown on a foul, just the out-of-bounds call.
Bronco
Now Taylor's going to
Winterton
inbound.
really letting the Lone Peak players know what he thinks.
And now a foul's going to be called. Ty Palmer called for a block. His first, Pleasant Grove second. Both teams with 2 fouls in the quarter now.
So Kramer draws it as the shot clock resets, and they're going to re-inbound it to Kramer. Kramer. It's Kramer. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I've been saying it wrong. Here is Cogswell with the ball. Gives it to Burgess. Taylor. Taylor into Cogswell. Kicks it out for Mitchell for three. It's off the front of the rim and no good. Clay Hansen gets it. Thought he's fouled by Cogswell. Andrew Henderson kicks the ball out. Clay Hansen shoots a three and buries it.
Clay Hansen
right in the face of his old team.
Clay Hansen is fired up as it gives the Vikings the lead in what's been a physical game. Clay Hansen gets called for a block. He thought he got the charge. Pleasant Grove's bench thought he got the charge. I'm not sure if the basket went. I don't think it did. So it's going to be 2 shots from the line as Lone Peak tries to regain the lead. Clay Hansen. We're only 7 minutes into this one, but he's been putting his body on the line for Pleasant Grove, and it's one of the main reasons they have this lead. But it could get cut.
Clay Hansen muscling up to Chamberlain. And that's going to be Kramer hitting the first one for the Knights. First free throw of the night for them. Bringing the score tied at 13 here. Kramer going up for his second. It's going to be good.
So that gives the Knights the lead and the Vikings the ball.
Here's Palmer bringing it up for the Vikings. Everyone gets into position. Kramer on Ty, back to Ty. Ty with the ball, trying to decide what to do. Gives it to Anderson. Anderson trying to drive off Lone Peak players. Here's Clay, and he's going to go up for
a travel is what's called.
Call.
You know, last time out against Riverton, that was an electric atmosphere for Pleasant Grove. This is something else. You have 2 schools who have packed the space they're given for their student section. There could not be more energy in this building right now.
The Riverton game was mostly electric for Riverton, nothing for Pleasant Grove. There, that's Chamberlain, and he's gonna do his easy dunk. You can see lots of that, as it doesn't take much to jump from his height up there, you know. Huge play for the Knights if they can start capitalizing on that.
And Coach McAllister wants his team to wait till there's 10 seconds on the clock to run their play, and now they get it started. Likely looking for a 3-1 to tie it up to end the quarter.
Anderson, quick pop shot, no.
Peterson won't get a shot off before the buzzer, and after a quarter, it's Lone Peak 16, Pleasant Grove 13. Altogether, we've seen a competitive game so far. We'll talk about that in a second after we talk about our title sponsor, Chubby's Neighborhood Cafe. There's no better place in Pleasant Grove to eat besides Chubby's Neighborhood Cafe. I love it. Jack loves it. I don't want to put words in your mouth. You talk about it.
I love Chubby's Neighborhood Cafe. All-American food for all-American families. It's quite an amazing local place. Started in Pleasant Grove, expanded across the valley, all the way up to even Riverton. Now it's being expanded even farther. I love it. Alan loves it. PGSN loves it.
Yeah, so
Chubby's Neighborhood Cafe, trying to pick somewhere to eat, you know, old reliable. Always going to be there. It's always going to be good.
And we're trying to pick something to talk about here that just happened in the first quarter, a wild one.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing 2 student sections that have really pulled up here. Pleasant Grove hasn't seen a student section this full since the Brendan Larson days, where he would bring people together to chant all together. And in those past 2 years since he graduated, it's just been, or just the past year, because this is the second year after he's gone, his impact was missed last year. There were some lackluster student sections, and this year there's been pretty much one home game that's been attendable other than Davis.
Yeah, Jordan, I mean, it was
at
really
9
just
in the morning. It was too early. Realistically, it was right before Thanksgiving break.
And it was $15 to get in.
Yeah, it was cost money to get in. And then Payson was the Tuesday night game. That's Hilliard, quick three, no good. Riker gets the rebound.
Yeah, Riker leads the team in offensive rebounds this season.
Riker kicks out to Milo. Back down to Riker, and they're calling it PG's ball.
Yeah, Mickelson trying to work on Burgess. That's one of the hardest guys on the court you could pick to try and work against down low. And then a good drive by Johansson. Just couldn't get a pass to land, but Hilliard.
Quick pop three, and it's good.
And that ties it up for Pleasant Grove early here in the second quarter.
Kramer with the ball, gonna bring it up. Possible double team from Carson and Milo. And that's gonna be an open three for Staley. And Burgess is gonna miss an alley-oop. A rare miss on a dunk by Burgess. That's to be stolen by Burgess as well. The hype is in him, the adrenaline is running. There's gonna be a reach-in foul on Riker Mickelson, it looks like.
I think they're calling it on the floor. I think they're gonna take it from the baseline.
They're giving it to Jackson Brown.
That's okay.
I didn't. Maybe I mixed up Riker and Jackson. Looking similar, both have fours with
Ethan Hilliard. Ethan Hilliard's trying to defend Chamberlain Burgess down low. It's a big height difference, but he's working against him defensively.
Chamberlain Burgess for a second looks like he double dribbled. Some of the parent crowd not very happy, but
Carson Rasmussen was trying to fly in and poke the ball out without Burgess seeing. Burgess didn't see him, but the refs ruled that Rasmussen got a piece of the hand, and that's why the whistle was blown. Carson's first, Pleasant Grove second in the quarter, and it's going to send Burgess to the line. That shot made by Burgess gives Lone Peak a lead.
His second be off the front of the rim and no good. Here comes Carson with the ball. 7 minutes to go in the second quarter here, or in the half if you would like to word it that way. And that pass is stolen by Taylor as his reach is way over him, but then the pass to Burgess is missed.
Burgess upset with his teammate, but gonna go play tough defense down low and try and get the ball back. Mickelson gets it into Rasmussen.
Carson remembering what to do here. Down one, pass is almost intercepted by Taylor again. PG working their ball around. And that's going to be Jackson Brown for three. It's going to be off the mark. Caught by Riker, layup. No good. Just barely a miss from the left hand of Riker Mickelson. Staley goes up.
Jackson Brown visibly upset. He thought he went straight up. He didn't. It's going to send Isaac Staley to the line for two. Jackson Brown gets tagged for his second. Pleasant Grove already at 3 fouls here, only a minute and a half into the second quarter. And it's going to send Staley to the line for two. His first shot is good. Jumped around a couple times, but it gives Lone Peak a 2-point lead, and Pleasant Grove's got 5 new guys in it.
So the environment in here, if you can't tell, is just way louder than every other game usually is. And that's just a huge difference maker for these players. Staley is going to make his second on a not very high arcing shot, Kawhi Leonard style.
If it goes in, it goes in. I'm sure Lone Peak's okay with it no matter how it goes.
Of course. Here is Andrew Anderson with the ball, commanding it, going to go in. Gives it to Mackay, back out to Clay. Clay being defended hard. They know what he's capable of. Mackay Peterson with the ball. Gonna drive in right side, kicks it to the corner. It's almost stolen. Ryan Hadley, 9 seconds to shoot. Kicks it to Clay. Clay. It's gonna be out of bounds and Lone Peak's ball.
Yeah, this has been some tenacious defense on Lone Peak's side that's run the shot clock down for Pleasant Grove, and they haven't really found ways once that shot clock has gotten below 8 or 9 seconds to get an open shot, and it's kind of been either mistakes like we just saw or forced shots that are low percentage.
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of mid-range jumpers and floaters if they get down to that amount of time left. It's an in-advised shot. Here is play, layup, no foul. Crowd touching it is not allowed, but they don't call anything.
And that ball goes over the outstretched fingers of Chamberlain Burgess, and it's gonna go back to Pleasant Grove. Clay did a great job of pump faking from beyond the arc, and then, drove past, couldn't get the layup to drop, luckily for Pleasant Grove, and the mistake by Lone Peak on the offensive end.
Yeah, Clay catches a breath for a second as they waste the first 10 seconds of the shot clock. That's Andrew Anderson for 3. He's going to hit it, tying the game up at 19 points. Absolutely huge from Andrew Anderson, Evan Anderson's little brother. Here is Kramer. Kramer brings the ball down, kicks it to the corner. That is Cogswell. Back to Kramer. Kramer fakes the 3, trying to get open. He can't. Goes underneath the basket. Reverse layup, no good. Chamberlain with the rebound. He can't connect.
Pleasant Grove is very, very comfortable with Hansen on Burgess defensively.
They're going to call a travel on Andrew Anderson.
I'm not sure if Anderson dribbled before he jumped. He might have.
I think he didn't, and he tried to dribble mid-jump so he wouldn't get called for the up and down. However, it's very difficult to not look like it's a travel. So I think that's where that call went in to commission,
Still a tie ball game for Pleasant Grove, even despite the mistake. And now a foul gets tagged on Rasmussen on the inbound. That's 2 for Carson, Pleasant Grove's 4th of the quarter. So the next one will send Lone Peak to the line for 2. Lone Peak playing clean so far here in this second quarter.
So here is Kramer bringing the ball down, commanding the ball more than I thought he would. I thought Staley would be their main guy, but they're going to leave Kramer to do the dirty work. The emotions are high here with the parents, just very, very much. Lots of built-up tension. That's me. And 1.
I don't know if they called an and 1. They are going to count it. I thought they might have called the foul on Carson as he was trying to reach back to pick it, but they do call it on Johansson. So that's going to be an and 1, as you mentioned.
I couldn't see the play very well, but Ty Palmer was just trying to check into the game, so I don't blame him. He checks in for, it looks like Carson.
It is Carson that comes out. He's in a little bit of foul trouble right now. They're trying to keep him out of it.
Staley's first and only is good, and Mekhi Peterson's going to check in for Jackson Brown. So Jackson Brown hitting that first 3 of the game, huge for us to kind of start the, three-point revolution for Pleasant Grove. Riker controlling the ball here. It's going to be up top against Chamberlain, drives left, gets him off his body, tries to do a spin move, and that's going to be off the backboard and no rim. Kramer with the ball. Kramer gets to Burgess. Into the corner, that's Taylor for 3. He's going to hit it.
That's another shot. Just great defense, and they just stood up, took the shot, and sunk it.
Riker, rare 3, no good.
You mentioned a rare 3 for Mickelson. In every game he's played, he's only taken 17, now 18 of those.
Yeah, so over the course of 15 games, or 14 plus this one, there's only that many 3-pointers.
That one's lost out of bounds by Tom Kramer. A turnover by Lone Peak is going to give Pleasant Grove the ball back, down 6 now.
Palmer with the ball. Coach Mack barking out the play for Pleasant Grove to run. Milo Johansson drives in. He's going to be fouled.
Yeah, Johansson looked like he almost had a clear shot to the basket. Gets fouled. Lone Peak's first of the quarter, so it's only going to be, they're going to take it off the line. It's going to be Ty Palmer inbounding for Pleasant Grove. He's got Hilliard, Peterson, Mickelson, and Johansson on the court for him.
Palmer gets it into Milo. Quick pop 3, it's good!
And wide open for Johansson. Does a good job of moving off ball and gives Pleasant Grove 3 points and cuts the deficit to 1 score.
Here is Kramer against Palmer. Kramer going right side. He's going to spin and try to go left. Gets it into Burgess. Burgess against Hilliard, kicks it out. Kramer for three. Off the front of the rim and no good.
Goes off the hands.
PG ball.
Goes off the hands of Burgess, and it is going to be Pleasant Grove basketball. This has been such a physical basketball game so far. It's hard to beat what Pleasant Grove and Lone Peak have done so far today.
So McAllister grabs Palmer by the jersey and moves him where he wants him to go. As Palmer probably couldn't hear him or didn't know what he was saying. Milo with the ball. Gives it to Mackay. Mackay gonna drive right. In the paint, kicks it out. Riker gonna drive in as well. They're gonna call
a foul.
Foul.
They're gonna call it on the court, so the shot is not gonna count. The foul goes against Jackson Taylor.
So it looks like it's a reach-in foul on, Jackson Taylor.
And we're gonna see Enoch Mitchell check in. For Lone Peak, I feel like Burgess, Staley, the guys who have played, I feel like all the game, they've gotta be exhausted at this point, and that's what Pleasant Grove's trying to do. But Pleasant Grove's kind of shot themselves in the foot by fouling more than they want to and giving the opponents a chance to rest, as Coach McAllister describes.
Here is Palmer, inbounds to Milo. Milo recovers the ball, gives it to Palmer. Ty, gonna go right, accelerates, layup, good.
That's a tough drive by Ty Palmer. A guy we usually don't see accelerate to the basket like that, but that was beautiful.
That's gonna be Cogswell. He's going to shoot a three, no good. Hilliard with the rebound. Gives it to Riker. Riker goes left. Sort of open lane, but then it's blocked up by Chamberlain. Palmer drives right. It's good.
They're not going to count it.
No continuation on that shot.
The foul goes against Seth Haskett that time, one of Lone Peak's starters. That's 2 on him. I think Palmer's got to be a little upset because that was just another great finish at the rim. I'm not sure when the foul happened, but it's going to be an inbound opportunity for Pleasant Grove. Ty Palmer into Peterson, out to Hilliard. Hilliard looking to drive, now he backs up. Gets it to Johansson. Johansson driving, left hand. Gets it to Peterson. Peterson drives, kicks it out. Wide open, Mickelson hits it.
There we go.
Pleasant Grove on an 8-0 run has a 2-point lead after being down 6.
Mackay looks like he hits him in the face for a second there.
Pleasant Grove has done
by Ty. Ty Palmer gives it to Johansson for three, no good. Gonna call it air ball. It did hit the backboard, but no rim was caught.
Pleasant Grove has
gonna get knocked down on the baseline.
Pleasant Grove has done a great job of speeding up this Lone Peak team. That's what caused the turnover on the other side. Just made Lone Peak make such quick decisions. Zane Windsor is gonna check in, and out comes Ty Palmer, I believe. So it's Windsor, Hadley, Anderson, Rasmussen, and Hansen on the court for Pleasant Grove. Windsor played a good game last time out against Riverton as Rasmussen sat with a little bit of a hip injury. Has a quick foul on him.
Yeah, very quick foul.
And that's going to send Lone Peak to the line. If Lone Peak does foul in the next 57 seconds, Pleasant Grove also gets an opportunity to go to the line for 2. And some upset parents behind us. I haven't been able to listen specifically, but no, they're not happy.
There's just a lot of yelling happening in here. So first from Kramer is going to be good.
Yeah, I don't know if I can wear this coat, this suit coat, to basketball games anymore. It gets hot in these arenas.
Yeah.
It was necessary for football, so I didn't freeze, but Kramer's second shot ties it up.
Good. So he has been so good from the free throw line, not even fazed by the distractions of the noise in the stadium. Andrew Anderson kicks it out to Hadley. Jane for a quick three. No good. Catches no rim.
There's about a 4-second difference between the shot clock and play clock, 4 to 5 seconds. A travel is called on Isaac Staley. Burgess slammed it home, but the whistle had already been blown. Pleasant Grove's got 30 seconds left. No shot clock. Ty Palmer is going to check in. Out comes Zane Windsor. As we mentioned, tie ball game here. 30 seconds left. Pleasant Grove likely looking for the last shot, but maybe they go quick and just take an open one.
Here,
Rasmussen.
barking out the plays. Ryan not in position apparently.
That's the perks of being right next to this coaching staff, as we get to hear everything. It gives us a little more insight to the game.
9 seconds on the shot. Gives it to Clay. Back to Rasmussen to Palmer. Quick three, no good. So they're going to call an air ball, but you know, tough game. Tied up here at halftime.
We're going to take a quick break as we begin halftime, but we will be back. One of the reasons Pleasant Grove student section is wearing purple today is for the man that you see at the beard of the Viking logo. That is Easton. Pleasant Grove had Levi last season, and they have a wonderful, wonderful kid in Easton this season, helping out with Make-A-Wish. Easton loves the color purple, and that's what has prompted the majority of the student section to show up in that color. Pleasant Grove is going to have a cheer routine. I'm not sure if it's for Easton, based around Easton, but not just Easton, as well as, you know, working with Make-A-Wish. There are QR codes that you might be able to see. Yeah, those are QR codes for Make-A-Wish, and they're bringing around some buckets for those who want to donate. Pleasant Grove doing amazing service here for the community and for those to sponsor and love around the state. And we're going to take a quick break while you guys get to enjoy this routine.
Hold on. Good job, Sandy. Go to that one. Reporting their competition group team.
How we go? This is. Let's go to
Welcome back to Pleasant Grove Sports Network and our coverage of PG versus Lone Peak High School. Sorry if the camera is shaking around. I have no idea what they're doing up there. However, we have a good game of basketball on our hands as PG is tied up with Lone Peak at the half at 27. Lower scoring game, however, not low in entertainment.
Yeah, I don't think saying we have a good game here is doing it enough justice. We have one of the greatest games you'll watch all season. I don't know what you were expecting if you tuned into this game, but you should have been expecting fireworks. There always are some when Pleasant Grove and Lone Peak face off. They got a drum out. I don't know what happened to the one that was the front row of the student section to begin, but
I think it's the same one. However, they just aren't allowed to have it because, you know, you can't bring drums to play inside. It's the same idea as back in the day. I did marching band, and it's one thing that you do is you play pet band for football games, and it is completely against the rules by the UHSAA to play any notes during play.
Yeah.
Unless it's a timeout or dead ball, you cannot play anything to distract the other team, or else it will result in a technical foul or even a turnover.
yeah, when Pleasant Grove was playing Skyridge earlier this year, the refs radioed up to the booth and told whoever was controlling music up there, you can't play it right now. And that's something that is focused on a lot here, is making sure that these players are in the most fair environment. We've got 16 minutes left of basketball.
Kramer with the ball, Ty Palmer defending him with all his might. As Chamberlain dumps right in front of his school.
Yeah, that's just a
sorry, you go.
That's just a good find, great assist, and good ball movement by the Knights, just finding the open man. And fortunately for them, it was Chamberlain Burgess.
Yeah. In the corner, that was Ryan. Gives it to Andrew. Quick pop three. Good.
They're calling it a two-pointer. So only a two-point play for Andrew Anderson. And they blew a whistle, obviously because he made the shot. I don't know why I questioned that, but now they're bringing subs in. That's not normal.
So they were gonna sub, and then the other ref didn't know. So they had their subs already checked in, and then they inbounded the ball, so they just called it back.
It's a quick sub for Pleasant Grove, 40 seconds in.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You never know, but Coach McAllister works with this team, and he really loves this team. So whatever is working, they're going to do. That's Kramer with an easy layup attempt. So Carson telling Jackson Brown where to post up. Ethan Hilliard on the outside of the three-point line moves it to Jackson. Back out to Carson. Fakes a three for a second. He's going to give it to Milo. Milo out to Ethan to Carson. Carson, right side, throws it to Riker, but then Jackson Brown catches it. And that's going to be a layup, and he's going to be going to the foul line. So one thing I've realized about Carson is that his three-point efficiency is good. However, he kind of has early career Joe Ingles syndrome where it just takes him too long to charge up the shot.
Yeah, 10 for 27 from beyond the arc. Rasmussen is on the season. He makes his first from the line.
So what I'm saying is that when he is lining up, he just takes a bit too long to get this shot out of his hands. And that results in blocks unless he's completely open. As Carson hits both free throws to tie it up at 31.
Yeah, Carson's only missed 5 on the season. Now 19 for 24 from the charity stripe.
Kramer into the corner, and that's going to be Staley. No good.
Ball's tipped around, and Hilliard ends up with it, and the Vikings have numbers.
Carson calling where Riker should go. To Riker down low. He's blocked by Burgess.
And Jackson Taylor got poked in the eye. He's holding his eye. That's going to be a timeout by Lone Peak. Or maybe it's an injury timeout.
I think it will be an injury timeout as the referees just look at him. Looks like he could have just been poked. As Lone Peak's coach is going to run over to check on him, ask him, how's it going, what happened, and see what is going on.
He looks a little dazed. It might just be the shock that, being poked in your eye is never fun.
So one thing that I saw with that play on Carson Riker, amazing read, right? Carson tells Riker, do a backdoor cut. He does. One-handed backhand right, bounce pass, down low, Riker reverse layup. However, Chamberlain Burgess, how tall is he? I have no idea, but he's very tall.
6'7".
6'7". That's Isaac Garrett level tall.
Yeah, Jackson Taylor had to come out of the game for Ty Cogswell. Sorry to cut you off.
It's okay, but you see that block, you know, when seeing it, it's like, man, it's unfortunate, but it also is kind of expected. There's been a lack of blocks, and a lack of points generally, but, you know, Chamberlain can catch a stride anytime now.
Jackson Brown gets the charge. And an amped up Jackson Brown. Pleasant Grove, to my remembrance, did not get a single charge last week against Riverton, and that's one of their team goals, is to get as many as possible in a game. Their goal was 5, and they did it twice at the Olympus tournament. Their first, I believe, in the last 2 games, just drawn by Jackson.
Here's Riker Mickelson. It's the ball here, and that's Jackson Brown going to be blocked.
Yeah, that's Chamberlain Burgess. Again, just such a big impact physically and in the back of your mind, thinking of where Burgess is. Pleasant Grove's going to get the ball back. As it's quickly into Mackay, it goes off the hands of a Knight. It's Cogswell.
Inbound, you know, I'm not going to say it wasn't advised, but it looked like he just threw it right at Cogswell, and he just didn't expect it. It just went off his hand.
Yeah, Taylor and Cogswell switch out one more time. So Taylor back in after the eye injury. Mishap. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he had to leave for it.
Just an eye poke, you know, kind of trying to regain his what he knows, you know. Here's Ethan Hilliard going to drive left side, kicks it out to Carson. Rasmussen is back to Hilliard. Quick top 3, no good.
That's just another big boy play by Burgess to get that rebound. Hilliard, good job of poking that one out to kind of reset the play for Pleasant Grove defensively. Ryan Hadley, Ty Palmer, Clay Hansen, and Andrew Anderson will check in. The lone Viking staying in is Mackay Peterson. Still a tied ball game up with 5:28 remaining here in the third quarter. The Knights inbounding.
Here's Burgess with the ball. Posting up Mackay Peterson. And is it stolen, but then it's going to be Lone Peak's ball.
The play clock either never started or was reset. I'm not sure. You're more of the expert. Should the play clock have reset? Okay, they reset it back to 26.
Yeah, it should have been 26. I'm not sure why. They probably thought it was a turnover, so they reset it. Inbound into Staley. Staley pull-up mid-ranger is going to be good. Rare shot, the mid-ranger kind of fell off after the mid-2000s.
Yeah, teams realize that it's just smarter to take the deeper 3, more efficient. But if you can hit a mid-range jumper, it's honestly one of the more valuable things you can have in your back pocket.
Mackay Peterson is going to get a reach-in foul drawn.
Goes on Staley. I believe that is his first. It is the third of the quarter for Lone Peak. We're 3 minutes in. That was an aggressive butt tap by Coach McAllister on Clay Hansen, but Clay Hansen's a guy who's always amped up and ready to just get his engine running.
Here is Ty, gives it to Mackay with a quick 360 pass. It's going to be missed for Ty Palmer.
He was looking for Hadley, who was cutting to the basket. Hadley was just a little more in front than what Peterson was expecting, and Peterson didn't have time to adjust his pass.
Yeah. So here's Kramer with the ball. Gives it to Taylor. Back to Kramer. Cannot get past this full court press. They do before the 10-second violation. Into the corner. Lone Peak. Staley almost goes up for a dunk. That is a true athleticism you see from
that was
Ike
like a
Staley.
Triple clutch by Ike Staley there. And tagged for the foul. It's going to be a shooting foul. It goes against Mackay Peterson. Lone Peak looking to push it to a 2-possession ball game.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's one thing to, as Staley hits his first, it's one thing to try and hit that move in the gym when you're alone. It's another thing to execute it here on the court. And I'm going to say he executed it because he got fouled. And then, he misses the second free throw. Palmer grabs a tough rebound.
Here's Ty Palmer bringing it down to the Vikings. Give it to Hadley. And another pass. Unfortunately missed.
Yeah, just another miscommunication for Pleasant Grove. They've had a couple mishaps on the offensive end. Something you've got to clean up if you're looking to win this one.
That's it into Haskett. Haven't seen much from him this game. Maybe we can see some points out of him in the next in the next 12 minutes here.
Lone Peak's done a good job of finding the open man against this press.
That's going to be Kramer and, my goodness, Burgess.
A whistle was blown early, so that basket is not going to count. A whistle was blown on a blocking foul for Pleasant Grove, so no basket, and going to the line for 2.
Staley high-fives him, and Burgess, he says, you know, it didn't count. Burgess says, I read his lips, says, I don't care.
I mean, we talked about earlier in the season how just the confidence of seeing a shot go in, even when it doesn't count, just that confidence helps an athlete.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when it's a dunk of that magnitude, Burgess is going to be remembering that one for a while.
Yeah, seeing one go in, remembering that he can do that, and remembering he can jump over somebody because of just how athletic he is. I mean, that really is the level that you'd have to see to be D1 and play at one of the best, if not the best, program in the state as far as college basketball goes.
Here's Anderson driving in.
No
blocking foul is going to be charged.
Gonna want the charge.
So a charge is very difficult to draw. That's why you haven't seen a bunch. As I don't know where Lone Peak student section is going, but they're leaving.
Lone Peak student section is literally just moving out. I'm wondering if they're gonna switch sides and try to distract PG from free throws.
They're kind of just congregating at the top. We'll keep you updated on that, but for now, Johansson.
I have no idea what they're doing.
Gets it to Mickelson in the corner. Mickelson is going to find Rasmussen. Rasmussen thought about a 3, doesn't take it. Guarded by the 6'7" Burgess, and then turns it over.
Burgess going down the court. Stolen by Riker. Gonna bring it down. Staley almost gets it from Riker. Out to Milo. Milo left hand. Kicks it out to Hilliard.
It cannot be emphasized how big of a play that was by Riker Mickelson. That was almost a wide open lane for Chamberlain Burgess. Riker Mickelson sprints down the court, clean strip, gets Pleasant Grove the ball back.
This is so confusing. What is the Lone Peak student section doing?
There's just a gap now.
Yeah, if you go down, when we go back down on their offense, there are players standing on, there are students sitting on the court. I don't know if that's allowed or not.
Johansson hits the first off the front of the rim. His second to make it a 1-score game is not converted. So 0 for 2 from the stripe, Johansson. The Vikings will get 2 free throws at any foul for the rest of this quarter.
Going down the court. Now some people filing back in, but I'm not sure what the first purpose of leaving was.
Yeah, it looks like almost everybody's coming back in. So you can see kind of on your screen kind of what's happening. But we'll focus on the gameplay for now.
Anyways, after how weird that was, Kramer with the ball gives it to Taylor. Taylor back to Staley. Gonna drive in. Mid-range jumper, good. That is an agent zero move as he takes a mid-range jumper and drains it every single time.
Pleasant Grove looking to cut the deficit here as Coach, I lost his name. Coach Ross tells his team not to foul on Lone Peak side.
Here is Carson, gives it to Riker. Riker pulls up for 3, no good. Rebound, Taylor gives it down. That's the Haskett, layup is good. As they go up 31-39 here. Rasmussen gives it to Riker, fakes the 3. Jackson Brown, quick pop 3, good.
That's a good shot by Jackson Brown. That's probably a shot that Riker should have taken earlier in the possession, but all is well that ends well. And for Pleasant Grove, that's 3 points, down 5 now. And now Pleasant Grove student section gets back in it.
Taylor.
They're gonna whistle Hilliard for a foul. So with 2 minutes left to go, if either team gets fouled for the remainder of this quarter, they're going to go to the line for 2.
Those are expert moves, being able to draw a foul after he can't, after Hilliard's tough defense on him.
So Pleasant Grove subs 5 guys, just like they've done all season, to get some new fresh legs out there.
So here is Kramer. Kramer to Burgess. Burgess picked up a dribble, then he dribbles again. Not sure what was that. But.
Some crowded space in this elbow.
Burgess, here's Kramer with the layup, no continuation. However, there's a foul before the call.
So Palmer gets whistled for that one. It's his second.
Both teams are in bonus this quarter, as both teams have 5 team fouls.
So Kramer at the line for 2. Has a chance to push it to a 3-point game. And he sinks the first to keep them on the way to accomplishing that. Pleasant Grove, a team that relies so heavily on the three-pointer, knew that they were going to get in these games where it was going to take some big three-pointers to get back. We'll see if they can do what they want to in the next 10 or so minutes. That inbound almost goes awry, but instead it's going to send Palmer to the line.
And Staley fouls. He's going to pick up his third. It hasn't listed as 0-0. Had me confused for a second.
Staley has been a big piece for this Lone Peak team. I think they're going to sub him out for Cogswell, at least for the remainder of this quarter. He looks like he's going to check in after this first shot. Nicholson will check in on Pleasant Grove's side.
So Ty Palmer going to shoot his first from the charity stripe. And it's good. Ty Palmer, one of the most consistent shots on Pleasant Grove's team, as Nicholson subs in for Clay Hansen.
Pleasant Grove's going to have to hit these free throws down the stretch over the next 10 or so games if they're going to want to win some of these close ones. It could be decided by free throws if Palmer hits his second as it bounces off the back of the rim.
Here is Kramer bringing the ball down for the Knights. Back up to Taylor. Sorry, I forgot his name for a second. Burgess in the corner. That's Kramer. Back out to Burgess. He shoots a 3. No good.
Goes off the Lone Peak hands as Riker Nicholson and a Knight who I can't tell the number. He's still on the ground.
This is going to be Kramer.
They were fighting for it, and he is slow to get up. Thompson Kramer, the leading scorer for the Knights, and some upset Lone Peak fans. As he's holding his nose, if he does start to bleed, he is required to come out. He's not bleeding yet, I have to assume, as he's staying in this one. Nicholson into Palmer.
You know, you have the term getting the wind knocked out of you, but you might get the face knocked out of you sometimes if you just hit hard enough by a Riker strike.
Yeah, but Pleasant Grove gets the ball back, and they're happy about it.
That's Hadley down low in the paint, kicks it back out. Anderson for 3. Good!
That's a big, big shot for Pleasant Grove to cut it to a 2-point deficit. We talked about hitting tough threes to get back in games, and that is a perfect example of that.
Kramer with the ball, throws it. That's me, Cogswell, or yes, Cogswell.
40 seconds left on the clock.
Anderson, PG coach is calling, do not foul. Here's Haskett. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Kicks it to Burgess. Pass is tipped.
5 to go.
Taylor gets it, chucks up a wild 3 with 10 seconds on the shot clock remaining.
Oh, Ryan Hadley, but he gets called for the foul.
Burgess goes up, Hadley.
Ryan Hadley just risked his life. If you get dunked on, it's hard to come back from that.
Even
Hadley
with the
did
foul,
the best he could.
Foul or not, the fact that he could get up onto Burgess's level is amazing and shows his feats of athleticism.
We talked about Burgess remembering that dunk even though it didn't count. Hadley's going to remember that block even though it doesn't count. Burgess hits his first from the line to make it a 3-point game. Rasmussen's going to check in for Hadley.
Burgess, it's not a shot you expect him to miss. Not even a little. I mean, he is a consistent shooter. I mean, that 3-pointer that he took and ended up being an air ball. No one even talked about that. The second one is no good. So
a mistake as it goes off Nicholson's hands. He couldn't corral the rebound. So now with 20 seconds left, Lone Peak's going to push it to a 2-possession game before heading in the break, and they're going to bring out some shooters, and Ike Staley and Tom Kramer, and take out some of their big defenders, Enoch Mitchell and Ty Cogswell. They're looking to score some points here before the quarter ends.
Burgess, floater, push shot. He puts this too small celebration.
That's not the worst outcome for Pleasant Grove. They've still got a chance to get a shot off here. They just have to be smart with 5 seconds left.
3, 2, 1.
Tie for 2, sinks it, and that is going to end the quarter. Pleasant Grove cuts it to a one-score deficit. After 3, we've got a 3-point game. We'll take a break and come back in a second. So one thing we were talking about before this game started was kind of a situation that Pleasant Grove would want to be in entering the fourth quarter. We've talked about this in past games as well. But Tom Kramer, Ike Staley, Chamberlain Burgess, they've played the majority of this game. One thing I'm looking for in this fourth quarter is if they can stay with their foot on the gas, or if they're going to get tired before the end of it. That's what Pleasant Grove's hoping for. It's kind of what their game plan's built around, is forcing these star players to get tired. Don't go anywhere. We've got an exciting fourth quarter. Rasmussen starts it off.
Here is Anderson with the ball, gives it back to Carson. Carson Rasmussen gives it to Makai Peterson. He's going to try it all the way around. Riker, corner 3, off the front of the rim and no good. It's be a rebound for Chamberlain.
That's
Palmer. A quick foul for Palmer. Not the decision that he would have desired.
Pleasant Grove loves to play aggressive, and that was an aggressive move by Ty to try and get his hand in to poke that one free. It's his 3rd of the game. But if you're Pleasant Grove, if this is a game that comes down to free throws, obviously you're going to have to keep out of foul trouble, and you don't want to start the quarter off with one.
Here's Haskett. Haskett into Kramer. Kramer, floater, no good. Rebound caught by Kramer, no good. Burgess has it now, and it's going to be good. So, after 3 chances, which is a critical mistake, tons of players are not going to miss on their 3rd chance at a bucket.
And that's an issue that Pleasant Grove knew would arise. You've got smaller guys. You're going to be playing against big guys like Chamberlain throughout this whole season. You're going to have to find ways to come down with those tough rebounds.
Carson with the ball, top of the key, gets it back to the right elbow. Rice gets to throw it to Riker, gonna drive in the paint. Can't find somebody, finds Makai, but it's off his chest. Here comes Chamberlain, dribbles around someone, layup, no good. He catches his own rebound, kicks out Haskett for 3, no good. Riker catches the rebound.
That's a big defensive possession for Pleasant Grove. Carson did a good job of slowing Chamberlain down past the timeline, as there's a quick foul called.
Reach-in foul.
You know, we've been talking all day about these plays that don't count, but it's going to give these players confidence. There might have been another one by Chamberlain Burgess down low. I don't think he's going to remember it that fondly, but, you know, anything to give you a little extra confidence. But for Lone Peak, that's Haskett's 4th. So he's in foul trouble, and nobody's off the bench for him.
Yeah, that is a key player that they will be missing. I mean, it's starting on a fairly talented team. Riker for 3 again, just rims out. Cannot bring this to within 2 points.
Yeah, he has not been scared to fire away all day, and nothing that Coach McAllister is going to be mad at after today, and a timeout called by Coach Ross, likely to substitute his man out so that he can keep someone out of foul trouble. But 41-46. Wow, we have a great ball game here. Jack, what should everyone watching expect to see in these next 6 minutes?
Just tough buckets from each team. I mean, playing as hard of defense as they can to secure this win. this is huge for both sides. First region game, huge, kind of made rivals, not born rivals, but, you know, made rivals. Now, haven't been fond of Lone Peak. Pleasant Grove hasn't been fond of them since probably 2009 when CJ Wilcox was on our team and they beat us in the semifinals of the tournament to ruin our only chance at a championship since 1956.
Not our only chance. We'll talk about the last chance they had in 2021 next week as they take on the team that defeated them in that championship game, American Ford.
And semifinal game. Did not make the championship in 2020. In 2022. Oh, wait, did you say 21?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they made the finals in 21, sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of passion on the court. I don't know how else to say that. There's a lot of passion. And staying on the court is Haskett, even though with his 4 fouls, he's the inbounder for the night. So interesting to see how he'll be used defensively.
Yeah.
Trying to keep him clean for the remainder of this one with about 6 minutes left.
Yeah, PG just storied against this other school. I mean, last year especially, with the late three-pointer from Mike Mitten to win the game, did not count him.
5 on the shot clock now. I don't think they know that.
Kramer shoots a mid-ranger, I mean, no good. Chamberlain goes for it, and Carson's gonna get the ball. Gets it to Riker. Riker tries baseline.
Block is gonna be called. Moving his feet was Haskett, and he's done. Haskett's night is over. 15 fouls, 5 fouls, not 15, excuse me, that's excessive. But 5 fouls for Seth Haskett here. So with 5.5 left in this one, Seth Haskett's night is over. And they're gonna turn to a gassed Jackson Taylor.
Taylor's been playing so good tonight.
I mean, the 5 guys you see on the court are the 5 guys who have been playing the majority of the game. Cogswell has kind of been switching in and out, but he's gonna have to play a lot of the rest of this one with how close it is. As Staley pokes that one out of bounds, it was intended for Brown. Pleasant Grove's gonna try it again.
He's trying to get a steal, not give Pleasant Grove any chance. But I think we gotta give Jackson Brown another shot here. Jackson or Ethan can really pull up from almost anywhere.
Instead it goes into Rasmussen.
Decent shot. Well, of course, Rasmussen's facilitator. To Ethan. Ethan on the outside of the 3. Now he's in the free throw territory. Riker fakes a three-pointer, fakes another 3. Hilliard drives in, left-hand layup, good!
That's a big finish for Pleasant Grove. Ethan, one of the few seniors on this Pleasant Grove team, and he's shown it with amazing leadership throughout these past couple weeks. And a turnover, forced by Hilliard.
Jackson Brown, quick 3, no good.
And Mickelson's gonna get whistled for a foul.
Burgess,
or it might be on Burgess. It's on Mickelson.
It was on Mickelson, sorry. He fouled Burgess.
Yeah, Mickelson's first of this one.
Wow. So I thought he would have more, but, you know, he's in good territory to keep playing aggressive defense. That's with Staley in the corner. Burgess misses.
And a foul's called on Hilliard. I think Hilliard jumped up to try and block the shot and wasn't controlling where he fell down. That's 3 for Ethan. That's a big turn of events for Pleasant Grove.
That's unfortunate on a rare miss from Burgess from that close in what would be the restricted area in the NBA.
They're gonna get it into Burgess, guarded by Hilliard.
Burgess drives baseline, kicks out for 3, now to Kramer. Kramer, the ball, 26 seconds on the shot clock. It's poked out.
A timeout called.
Timeout.
Coach Ross may be a little premature with that call. Obviously trying to keep the ball for your guys, but that ball was back in Lone Peak hands before he was rewarded the timeout. They've got 2 left with 4.5, and in 2024 Pleasant Grove fashion, they've still got all 5 in their back pocket. So what has been a back and forth affair all night stays that way with about half of a quarter left to go. We talked about Mickelson during that last stretch for Pleasant Grove. What can Mickelson be to this Pleasant Grove team for the rest of this game?
Sorry, my headset I had no idea what you just said.
So Mickelson has been such a huge contributor for Pleasant Grove. As we mentioned, leading the team in points per game. He's missed a couple shots on the offensive end. What should he be looking to be for the rest of this game? Taking open shots and playing tough D?
I think just facilitating, driving in, trying to draw fouls. Honestly, at this point, that's gonna, if they get into foul trouble and, you know, this team is tired, they play some tough basketball here, Kramer is gonna go up quick, and Makai Peterson's gonna foul him.
So that's 4 in the quarter for Pleasant Grove. So any foul from here on out will send the Knights to the line. That's a risky place to be if you're Pleasant Grove. Only Makai's second. This one is going to send him to the line because it's a shooting foul. The first shot is good to push it to a 2-possession ball game. So with 4 points separating these two teams, they've got 4 minutes and 22 seconds left to duke it out. And the second shot is sunk by Kramer. Now it's 5.
Here's Ty Palmer bringing the ball down for the Vikings. The facilitator. Clay Hansen gives it to Ryan. Here's Makai Peterson, drives in, takes it back out. Ty, quick 3, good!
I cannot emphasize how amazing of a pass that was by Makai Peterson.
I cannot emphasize how just pretty of a jumper form that Ty Palmer really has. It is such a good-looking shot. Alley-oop pass to Burgess.
Pleasant Grove, obviously you're never completely okay with that, but
that is an unstoppable move.
For Pleasant Grove, 3 is more than 2. Since the last time you had the ball, the deficit's been cut. 4 points is not insurmountable.
Yeah.
So Pleasant Grove, again, not okay with that outcome, but not the worst outcome in the world.
Clay gets to Ryan. Ryan to Makai. Makai gets to Ty. Ty Palmer drives in, floater, no good. Here's Makai back out to Ty. Ty Palmer kind of caught the pass that's intended for Clay.
6 on the clock, 6 on the shot clock.
Back out. Clay Hansen gonna pull up for 3 off the back of the rim. My goodness, Ty Palmer gets it, shoots a 3, no good.
That's maybe a little ill-advised. You might want him to get a little bit more set before he takes that shot.
Oh my goodness, blocked by Ty from behind.
It's gonna stay Lone Peak basketball, but you just took 2 points away from them and are making them play a little bit more set offense. What a play by Ty Palmer defensively. And 2 shots.
Foul.
It's Ty Palmer tagged for that one, the blocking foul. He has 4.
And now Lone Peak is in bonus, so they're going to head to the stripe every time there's a foul. That is not a great situation for the Vikings.
Tom Kramer shooting 2 from the line. He sunk his last 2, and he misses his first.
Yeah, Kramer, rare miss.
Yeah,
absolutely been a dog from the free throw line.
As we mentioned, their leading scorer, 13.5 points per game. We have no live stats, so I have no clue how many he has today. But he's looking to tag one on here, and he does. 3 Vikings check in. It's Carson Rasmussen, Riker Mickelson, and Jackson Brown. Out comes Peterson, Hadley, and Hansen, so Palmer stays in. Both teams with key players. 4 fouls keep theirs in. Haskett fouled out for Lone Peak, and now Palmer stays on the court for Pleasant Grove with just under 3 to go in this one.
Calling out what play to run here. Carson, they got 2:40 to move here with a 5-point deficit. Riker Mickelson on the outside of the 3-point line.
Yeah, no worry about time here for Pleasant Grove unless you continue to platoon in about a 4 to 6 point deficit.
Jackson Brown is going to be fouled.
And a jump ball is called. It's going to go to the Knights. The possession arrow was switched to Pleasant Grove off the inbound, but they did call a jump ball.
Interesting. Inbound here for Lone Peak. Here comes Taylor. Taylor with the ball gives it to Kramer.
This would be a big defensive possession for Pleasant Grove.
Kramer gives it to Burgess for 3. No good. He's going to fall over to no avail. However, Lone Peak gets it back. Now to Burgess. Now a foul.
And that's Mickelson pounding his fist on the court. I'm not sure who they're going to call it against. It goes against Jackson Brown. So that's going to send Burgess to the line for 2. With 2:10 left to go, Brown has his 3rd. These are key free throws for Chamberlain Burgess and the Lone Peak Knights as they look to kind of push Pleasant Grove away in the final minutes. Burgess misses the first off the back of the rim.
Yeah.
We're going to see Makai Peterson and Ryan Hadley check in. Riker
take out
Mickelson.
Carson and Riker. So those are two players kind of in foul trouble, and Carson just can't really connect tonight. And that's be Burgess' second, bringing the score up to 6.
I think Pleasant Grove has the 5 best shooters, who they believe are the 5 best shooters on the floor right now.
Ryan Hadley gives it to Makai. Makai drives in, comes out back to Ryan, drives in. Right hand and one. My goodness.
Ryan Hadley being strong to the rack. That's a big, big move. That's only Cogswell's first.
Yeah, first on Cogswell.
But Hadley with a chance for a 3-point play. That's a smart shot. He had a good look to the rim, and now he has a chance to get an old-fashioned 3-pointer.
No good. Calling it.
Calling it out on Lone Peak. There's no way to review things. Calling it out on Pleasant Grove, excuse me. So it's going to be Lone Peak basketball. There's no way to review things at this level, so Lone Peak is going to get it in the backcourt.
Here's Kramer. Kramer gets it across. Corner 3. Just off the front of the rim by Staley. Here comes Makai Pearson. Ryan Hadley down low. Back out to tie. It's stolen.
We're starting to see a little bit of Lone Peak's fatigue set in. Not sprinting down the floor like Pleasant Grove is. They got lucky with the turnover there. I'm not sure that's going to happen again if Pleasant Grove gets in the same position.
Shot by Staley. Good.
What a huge shot by Ike Staley. He couldn't deliver the finishing blow in football, but that's a big dagger here late in this one.
1 minute to go here for Vikings. Here's Ty Palmer, quick layup.
And now a Pleasant Grove timeout.
Awarded a timeout, huh?
So, man, oh man, what a basketball game we have here. Pleasant Grove down 5 with 1 minute and 2 left to go in this one. They've been exchanging blows. 5 points is kind of where the deficit's been at for the last quarter or so. What does Pleasant Grove need to do to push themselves in front? And what can Lone Peak do to keep Pleasant Grove at arm's length?
You know, that play that we saw, Ryan Hadley down low, you know, I think he really should have gone up for the shot. They want to settle for 3. They don't want to settle for 2s. They want 3s. But they cannot let Ike Staley take those. They cannot keep relying on Lone Peak misses. They need to rely on them causing a turnover, not just them catching a rebound after a missed shot.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed, Pleasant Grove's coaching staff has kind of laid off the referees a little bit after being upset with some calls. Earlier in the game, they've kind of stayed quiet a little bit and let the players play, and Pleasant Grove's done a good job of keeping this one competitive. I think Coach Ross on the other sideline has done a great job coaching this Lone Peak team as well, making necessary adjustments and keeping Pleasant Grove at arm's length has kind of been what they've done this whole game.
Kramer. Kramer passes to Taylor, back to Kramer. Kramer with the ball back to Staley, back to Kramer.
Lone Peak's just trying to run time off.
Kramer. 41 seconds to go, 13 on the shot. Kramer almost loses the ball, throws it to Taylor for 3. He hits it!
Oh my goodness, Jackson Taylor.
It might be the dagger on this game.
Pleasant Grove's had a Ty
Palmer, quick 3, no good. And that's a repossessed by Lone Peak. Down the court, Agent 0, no good. Maybe could be a foul.
I think you said it. I think that might be the dagger. Pleasant Grove has had kind of back-to-back games where tough threes have been hit by the opponent late in it to push themselves out. But I think Pleasant Grove has played a great game today. They've got a lot to learn. They can improve and continue to build on what they have. This could be a team that's really competitive down the stretch, but Chamberlain Burgess makes this first and kind of puts this one out of reach with 15 seconds to go.
It would take a miracle of 3 threes to even tie it if he doesn't hit this second one.
Yeah, Chamberlain Burgess looking to push it to a double-digit game, and does. So 60 to 50 is the score now. Rasmussen's going to wait to touch this one.
PG plays till the final minute, though. That's Riker for three, no good. Stanley's going to catch the rebound with 5 seconds to go. And here's Taylor going to dribble the clock out.
So this is a game that ends 60 to 50. Lone Peak wins. This is a game that was not a double-digit loss for Pleasant Grove. Obviously, that's what it's going to look at in the box score, but this is a game that was hard fought by both teams on both ends. Let's start this post-game show by talking about Lone Peak. Let's talk about what they did. Really, it was kind of what we were expecting. It was Chamberlain Burgess, but a great game by some role players as well, and I think they did a great job sprinting throughout the entire thing. Jack, what did you see from this Knights team?
They just played like dogs. They were insane. Has no hard feelings to Austin Simon from any of the coaching staff, which is good to see. I'm not necessarily a fan of hating on players who move schools, you know, outside of their control. You know, a lot of people don't know that Austin Simon actually moved, and he has to go on Peak now.
Yeah,
yeah, I think that Pleasant Grove, they played a good game. It's good to learn. This was an extremely hard game, harder than any game they've played this season, because it's region. 6A Region 3 is one of the best in the state. In fact, it might be the best.
It is the best.
Basketball.
I'm a little biased, but there is no better top 4 teams at the top of a region than American Fork, Pleasant Grove, Lone Peak. And, you know, you can throw in a number of teams, but Lehigh this season has been so good. It's hard to beat those top 4 teams, and it's just tough to have to play in this region every season.
And don't count out Corner Canyon. They're out in Region 2, but they're still insane this year. One of the best teams that high school basketball in Utah has ever seen. And, you know, looking at this game tonight, I think it's just a lot of, you know, we just have to learn about it. You know, think about, you know, we played good, but they played better, and they played stronger, and they played bigger, and we made mental mistakes at the end. We passed to the wrong guy multiple times. We took the wrong shot multiple times, and we left Ike Staley for 3 open. And, you know, he may have missed a lot, and I said it, and I find out you can't rely on their misses. He hits that, and then Taylor with the dagger to stab this game into oblivion.
Yeah, these are tough back-to-back losses for Pleasant Grove, but these are against some of the best teams they'll see all season. Riverton falling to Riverton away last time out, and then this was a tough crowd. Lone Peak always brings it, and just a huge shout out to the team for how they played today. Lone Peak, how they played, the coaching staff for the way that they've coached these players to carry themselves. I was talking to Scove before the game, and he said that Lone Peak is always one of the most respectful, one of the most dignified opponents. Pleasant Grove prides themselves in how they bring up their players to be men, and Lone Peak does an awesome job on the other side as well in that aspect. And then a big shout out to both Pleasant Grove and Lone Peak student sections for making this game some of the most fun we'll have all season.
Yes, and as the streak goes on, since Axe Preps was founded in 2005, PG
2004.
has not beaten Lone Peak in both football and basketball every single year. And this year was the closest they've gotten to beating that streak in a very long time.
They have one more try in a couple weeks when they travel to Lone Peak. But first they've got to get through every other team in the region, and that starts traveling to the Cave and facing American Fork and the Cavemen on Tuesday. Jack, anything else you want to say about tonight?
I think that this is overall a game that was well fought. It was very exciting. Great basketball was played. Unfortunately, it ended in a Pleasant Grove loss, and we'll see as PG's record turns into 10-5.
10 and 4.
10 and 4. Sorry. So 10 and 4, and they're going to go to the Cave and play arguably the hardest team in this region in American Fork. Coach Cuff and his team, they are insane. They took one of the best AAU teams this year two within 3 points at the very end, taking the last shot and missing it to go into overtime. That AAU team has future NBA talent. I cannot express how good that team is. Now they should just dominate every game. Put American Fork went in there and brought them all the way to the final possession. So we're going to see if PG can beat them, what kind of fight they'll put up. So tune in on Tuesday next week.
Yep, 60-50 your final score today as Lone Peak takes down Pleasant Grove. We will see you guys back here, as Jack said, at 7:30 p.m. at American Fork. Great game, and overall just an amazing atmosphere. I love to call it. I love to call it with you. For the last time tonight, I'm Alan Judson.
And I'm Jack Barnard.
And we will see you guys Tuesday night.